Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can put virtual stamps on a PDF file. This is a day-to-day task for every business process, for every company, because it's very important to have, for example, incoming stamps on invoices or bookkeeping stamps on invoices after they have been booked by the accountants, or an approval stamp, for example, on PDF files when a contract, for example, has been approved. So many of use cases where you need to put stamps on invoices or stamps on PDF files. And because of that, I'm going to show you how you can do that with PIPEFORCE to automate that steps and to integrate that in your daily workflows in your business. In order to try out this demo by yourself, you can go to PIPEFORCE.io and create a developer account, or you can drop us a note on support@PIPEFORCE.io in case you're already a customer, and we will send you a developer account for free. Another thing you have to do is to install the CLI, which is a local command line interface which allows you to easily create new resources and publish them to the PIPEFORCE cloud. Just go to devdocs.pipeforce.io. Here it is explained how you can download and install that tool, and then come back to follow that guide. So let's start. Here you can see I have the low-code workbench, which is based on the Visual Studio code editor. I already opened the terminal, so I can type in here my CLI commands, and at the left side you see the typical PIPEFORCE low-code structure where our resources are gonna be created soon. Before we can start to create stamps on a PDF, for sure we need a PDF first. And to do so, I'm just logged into our PIPEFORCE portal. And then I went to the data room here, opened it, and here you can see I already uploaded such a file, invoice.pdf. That's a very simple invoice file, just a template, no data or value in it. And the goal is to see here a stamp later on when we open it again. Let's go back to the workbench. The first step after we created the invoice is to create an app, a demo app. I will do that now by typing in PI new app. And let's name it, for example, PDF demo app. Let's use a title, no description, default icon. Once it's created, you can see a new folder structure was created for us. This is the typical way how an app is created first locally in the workbench. You don't need to configure the configuration files or change anything in it. You can leave it exactly as it is. In the next step then, we create the pipeline, again with PI new and then pipeline. And it asks in which app we want to create it. For sure, the app we created right now. And the pipeline itself should be named like create stamp. Once it's created, I can directly open it. And you see the pipeline, as usual, contains a Hello World example. Just puts that Hello World on the console when we execute it. The important thing is that the pipeline is the glue in PIPEFORCE. The pipeline can put together API calls, can put together RPA outputs, can transform data, can do some calculations, can do loops to recurring task, and all of that stuff. Everything of that is done in a pipeline, so it's a very, very important configuration file. The pipeline itself The pipeline file is written in YAML. There's a YAML DSL for it, and because of that there's also code completion available inside of these pipeline YAML files. And to do so, let's remove it, that log output first, and then let's start to load our Invoice PDF from Drive. And to do so, I look into my code completion which Drive commands I have, and you can see there are already a bunch of it. And I will use just the read one. What is it saying? It says reads a file from Drive and puts it content as a pipeline resource into the body. That should mean the body. Into the body. Okay, yeah, this is our friend. Now let's load the invoice from Drive. As you have seen, the name of that file is invoice.pdf, so let's also use that inside of our pipeline, invoice.pdf. So this was the first step, and in the next step we gonna create the stamp. So again, I have here this candidate writes both text or images to a PDF file under a specific layer. This is exactly what I need. And at first I would like to simply put the text received on this PDF. The other parameters we don't need, so remove it. And finally, what I would like to do is to save the PDF file once it was processed, and let's store it under name invoice received PDF finally. And you see these are only 3 commands. With these 3 commands you can load the PDF from Drive, can put a stamp on it, and then can write it back to Drive. Let's try whether it works. To run a pipeline, simply use the CLI tool again, PI pipeline, and then a pipeline file. And then let's execute exactly this pipeline file locally. Let's see what happens. So what happened in the background? In the background, the content of the pipeline, all of these instructions, have been uploaded to the server, and every of this instruction, every of this command can be a microservice call or a native call. It depends on implementation at the PIPEFORCE side. The commands will be executed one after another, and then the result will be returned to the client if there is any result. In our case, there was no result at all because we just loaded a PDF and then we wrote it back to Drive after it was processed. Let's take a look on Drive whether this this PDF was stamped correctly now. And as you see, a new file was created. And when we open it and take a look at it, you see our stamp was successfully created here. And then next step, let's make it a bit more usable. And for this, I'm gonna use the pipeline expression language. You can find in the dev docs the explanation about this expression language. It's very handy for dynamic processing of data, for example, loading a date, loading the currently logged in user, data mapping, doing while loops and all of that stuff. For these things you need the pipeline expression language, and it's very easy to use. You always start the pipeline expression language with these signs here, and inside of it you place the expression itself. In our case it's just an add-on. Add-ons always start with an @ sign, and then we say the date add-on, and the date add-on should return the current date with the default format configured at server side. So let's save it and execute it again, and let's see what happens now. And you see a new file was created, and now with the current date. And let's play a little bit more. Beside the current date, we also want to have the current logged in user. See, we have received current date and the logged in user on that PDF, and now we could move that PDF to the archive or use it in the workflow to send it to other people who, for example, doing a review on that invoice and then making an improvement stamp on it. And all of these stamps you can automate. Good. That's it for this short demo. It's a quite simple use case, but a very important one in my opinion. So just make sure that it also works for your account. If you have any question, let us know. Drop us a message at support@pipeforce.io or use our service desk. I'm looking forward to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon. Bye.